Okay, so I'm going to take a little side detour because I opened up that can of worms regarding Blue Ivy story. So I'm going to show you guys some of the more pertinent clues as to her being another one of these future mother creators. So after I uploaded that other video, I put on the radio, and this is what was playing. I was sleeping on the floors, so. This is came on at January 13th, 125. So it's January 13th, 235. So this was like an hour ago, roughly. So Wanted Dead or Alive playing is that's connected to where is it from here? Way over here. So I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. So the cowboy is referring to where is she here? So referring to her because she did it like a country album. So by proxy of her doing the country album, it's attached to her. So the cowboy in this song is roughly Ivy, and on a steel horse I ride means it doesn't mean like a metal horse. It represents like Steal, like she could become the mother of all creation on a steel horse I ride. So the Black Beauty is what sets this all up. So that's what we're gonna look at. We're looking at some of her clues here. Um, so that's what was playing then, and then there's that there. So you notice here it's 125. Here it's 125. January 13th, 125. I'm uploading this video here. Dragons 13 Super 147. So 10 minutes, and then after that, this song was playing. Boots of Hearts at 150. So roughly, 30, 25 minutes after that song was on, this song came on. Boots of Hearts. So I want to talk about that one for Mother, because it's about so. Well, I think there's a problem here. Her voice just don't sound right. But I left myself on her answering machine. But basically, the answering machine is telling the story about us and as the creators. So I'm back in town tonight. Even babies raised by wolves, they know exactly when they've been used. So the wolves is metaphorical for the aliens coming here, right? So, um, see when it starts to fall apart, man, it really falls apart. Like boots of hurt. So when they start, they really fall apart. So, well, everyone in town now they probably all agree I'm lying in the bed I made. It's referencing if you don't secure your place as the mother creator, well then you're gonna have to lie in that bed that you made. That's what it refers to. Why? Well, because boots or hearts is basically, you give me your heart and we fall in love, or boots, like these boots are made for walking. So I can walk to any one of these other eight ladies, or you can choose to step up to the plate and become, the mother of all creation. That's what it means. So, so anyhow, now we're moving on to the fray. So, the fray here is this guy is he gets into a fight with a pack of wolves. So you want to look for this song, The Gray, once more into the fray. So the picture of the wife there is a representation of your reincarnated mother, whom I am telling you is Jaden. So it's a representation of her. So there's a particular scene here where his wife passes away from cancer, I believe, because there's a scene here where there's like an IV. So that's the connection to Blue Ivy, because that's an IV. Like her name is spelled IVY, but this is IV, but they both sound the same. IV. So that IV is basically connected to another scene I'll talk about in a minute. So he gets into a fight with these wolves. So that wolf there, right? It's a representation of a sheep in wolf's clothing, or aliens coming here pretending to be your mom and dad. They're going to be sheep in wolf clothing, and they're going to try to enlist the help of the three Abrahamic religions to do me wrong, I'll say. So you got to watch out for the aliens because they're sheep's in wolf clothing. Don't believe everything that, Tom, Dick, and Harry coming around here pretending to be your mom and daddy say, because they're not real. I'm real. So there's a particular voice in our verse in, well, not verse, but there's mentions of Isaiah. We all stray like sheep. So that sheep in wolf's clothing is connected to the battle back here, or me fighting the three Abrahamic religions to make sure that I can, remain intact. So you next want to watch Three Little Pigs. Okay, so Three Little Pigs is connected to Liam Neeson fighting the wolves. It's a metaphorical for me fighting, the three brothers. Okay, so these guys is a representation of. There's three brothers. Let's just put it that way. There's an older brother, a middle brother, and a younger brother. You guys can figure out who that is, but you should know who I'm talking about, right? So that story, The Three Little Pigs, is a representation of everyone thinking I'm the big bad wolf. I'm not the big bad wolf. The aliens are going to come here pretending that Judaism, Islam, and Christianity is the real deal. Those guys are the wolves, not me, man. They're the predators. So it's a representation of people thinking I'm the big bad wolf. So The Three Little Pigs is based on you guys, and what happens in this particular video is John Rambo shows up and he shoots that pig. I mean that wolf. That's a representation of the people coming here, the aliens, pretending to be your mommy and daddy, coming here to enlist your aid to get rid of me by causing a civil war, and that's me getting shot. So the wolf here is a it's all backwards. So the Three Little Pigs are actually three sheeps in wolf clothing. Or gonna be siding with aliens when they come here to try to get rid of me. And that's what the battle is over here with Liam Neeson when he enters the wolf pit. That's what it represents. So I know I'm sidetracking from Blue Ivy's story, but I thought, I needed to explain what the wolf pit is about. So please don't harm me. So when he sees his wife with the IV dripping, that's connected to this scene here. Guardians of the Galaxy, okay? So in this particular scene, that's a representation of Jaden and her losing the fire from you remember the Back to the Future, how there was a flame there, and Doc, the one flame is gone. It's a representation of her being in love with another man and her falling out of love with the fantasy of potentially being with me, because after all, it was just a fantasy. It's not real. A young lady, fantasizing about a 17-year-old version of me and wanting to get with me, that's a fantasy. I would have never thought that it could come true either. So it would be very easy for her to move on, leave that fantasy behind, fall out of the crush with me, and then get with somebody else and real, and then fall in love with that person for real. But now here I am knocking on the door, and that once crush that she had for me is now gone, and in its place is her love for another man, and potentially even a family now. So it's a representation of her love dying for me. Now, I didn't put the song on there, but I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. So the song playing is Not in Love by 10cc. Not finding me. So when you watch this song, Not in Love by 10cc, he says, I'm not in love. It's just a silly phase I was going through. So that's what's playing in Guardians of the Galaxy. So you need to watch this after you watch that mother scene to understand what's going on here. The song is about her not being in love with me anymore. But, it's only a crush. It's not like she's in love with me, in a physical person. It's just more love, more or less living a fantasy where there's a potential fantasy where she's in love with me, as a 17-year-old, and perhaps who knows what we do. Maybe we have a family together. So it comes from that perspective of creating a fantasy where she could have been in love with me or in love with the thought of being in love with me. But now that she's with somebody for real, that fantasy takes a back seat. It's gone, it's gone, way gone. So she's left it behind, and that's what the song is about. I'm not in love anymore. It's just a silly crush phase I was going through. That's the take home of what the song means. So why does it do that? Okay, so that's what the scene represents. So when you see this here, she's trying to give Peter a package here, okay? And the grandfather grabs the package and says, "I got your back, Pete." Having my back is a representation of my grandfather's spirit, the grandfather of all creation, having my back by creating me. I've found eight distinct different people on this planet whom I could potentially marry if Jaden doesn't want to accept that position as the mother of all creation because she wants to remain in her family with her current spouse. So that's what that represents. I got your back, Anthony. I got 8 more girlfriends lined up for you, and that's I'm there are more. There's a lot more than 8. So I can marry anybody on this planet that I want. In other words, so that's what he says when he puts it in the backpack. I got your back, Anthony. So then she's asking Pete to grab his hand, and he doesn't grab her hand because she passes away. So that passing away is this particular scene where the mother's asking Pete to grab her hand is a representation of me with, the mother of all creation inside of me asking you, Jaden, to grab my hand, saying, marry me, except be with me, because you're at the top of the list. The other ones are, below you. You're at the top, and everyone else is below you. So because she passes away before the boy can grab her hand, it's a representation of you not choosing to be with me because your love for me has died, or the crush for you or the crush for me has died, and it's no longer there because you're completely and utterly madly in love with another man, because it's real love. It's not fake or fantasy, in other words. So now we go to Miss Ivy here, Blue Ivy, because that's her name, Blue Ivy, and it's connected to poison, right? Poison ivy, meaning something to believe in. So I believe that she could become the mother of all creation, and what I'm about to show you will make you believe it too. So give me something to believe in. So that's the IV, okay? So poison ivy, who could become the mother of all creation, because this one here, she's also passed away from cancer. So this one dies away from cancer, and she dies from cancer. So poison ivy means that you can become the mother ivy. If all the other ladies that have come before you happen to pass the torch on, and pass the torch to somebody else, then it becomes your turn. Then it's your turn to either accept that torch or pass it on. That's what blue ivy actually means, or poison ivy, but you wouldn't know until I tell you. So poison ivy means something to believe in, blue ivy, becoming the mother. So when you watch this particular this scene here, it's about poison, something to believe in, blue ivy, being Mother Nature, or the mother of all creation, because the love of the original mother has died for me. So you'll notice that they're at a cafe called the Rose Cafe. Well, that Rose Cafe is connected to every rose has its thorn by poison ivy, or poison ivy, meaning, it's metaphorical for a wonderful flower that I want to get with, not wanting to get with me, in other words. So that's what the connection is to the rose there. It's like, I thought you had this wonderful fantasy to get with me your entire youth, and now that it's here, knock on the door, you don't want it. So that's what the song is about. A beautiful flower not wanting me anymore. So I let a big for a fly. So you'll notice this in the thing. It's a fly trap, but you have to watch this scene here. It's this Pink Floyd The Wall flower scene. So that flower is that there. It's a representation of, purity. And that's what that particular scene is about. So now she's talking about, I hear he's not expected to live. That's a representation of Blue Ivy saying, I hear that Anthony's not going to live if he doesn't have a soulmate to become a new mother of all creation. And it's so sad. So it's a representation of Blue Ivy, like crying when she probably watches this show. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that I was selected to be a possible candidate for a new mother of all creation. It's so sad that he doesn't have a mate. So, and then she says, oh, please call me Poison Ivy, or please call me Mother of all creation, because of the association of the Ivy from Once More Into the Fray and Guardians of the Galaxy Ivy, where the mother passes away, meaning that Blue Ivy could become the mother of all creation, or Poison Ivy, because of something to believe in through the association of poison, something to believe in. So this little rose, we're talking about a little rose, the rose would be extinct today if I hadn't saved my precious flower. So I'm a representation of the rose because my grandmother's name is Rose Thompson, or Rose Root. So because the grandmother is inside of me, the grandmother of all creation, it's a representation of the grandmother being inside of me, going extinct if I don't, find a mate to put her soul into. We'll rewind time all the way back to the beginning, because this is Ragnarok. I have that ability. If I perish, everything goes back to the beginning of time, and I'll be talking to you all again in 1,000 lives from now on the 2002nd life. And maybe that time I might be able to find grandmother somebody to love, or grandmother put her soul in so that I could find somebody to love. That's what the rose protector said. Rose would be extinct today if I hadn't saved my precious flower. So now, the reason why they changed The Little Mermaid and got an African American actress to do this particular live action one is because it's based on Blue Ivy. She's the Little Mermaid. So a man was drowning. I had to save him, meaning Anthony couldn't find a wave, so I had to step up to the plate and save him. So now, in that particular scene, I think I've already talked about it, but the mermaid is connected to The Reason here by Hoobastank. So you now have to watch The Reason. So you watch The Little Mermaid, then you watch The Reason, and I've found a reason for me to change who I used to be. Not me. Like, yeah, I'm going to change who I used to be, but it's referring to grandmother. I found a reason to change. I found a reason for me, the grandmother of all creation, to change who I used to be. Meaning, I'm not going to be Native American anymore because none of the girls in my community want to get with Anthony. So therefore, I have to look outside the community, and hopefully somebody outside the community might want to become the new mother of all creation. So that's what it means. I'm no longer going to be Native American. I'm going to be possibly African American. A reason to start over anew as an African American mother of all creation, and that's what the Little Mermaid represents. Although she's blonde, it's a representation of Blue Ivy from the Little Mermaid, who's African. And the reason is you, meaning Blue Ivy. And when the banner comes down, it's a representation of us being safe because we've done the necessary steps to grandmother ordered me and put it into Blue Ivy so that we can do all the necessary leg steps for her and I to become the new mother and father of all creation, to wage war against those 242 trillion evil civilizations or evil people out there in those 22,400 civilizations. Safe and sound, in other words. So this I'm just adding in there because it's a slight clue. You wouldn't know that hot chocolate is about her. That's your song through the association of chocolate being brown, right? So that's your song. I thought I'd put it in there because before I've already showed you that thing before, guys, and that's nothing personal or anything, folks. It's just I'm directed to try to do that, right? So that's what this is here, a song of romance, and it just, how do I put this? Yes, I know there's an age disparity, but I've already said it once before. It's like we won't be getting together for quite some time, and it's my expectation that by showing Jaden all these clues that I'll probably end up with her because she's gonna realize that she could lose me forever. So although I'm playing this song for um for a young lady, don't don't misconstrue the facts behind what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm basically just trying to set up an attachment with somebody who maybe in 3 or 4 years, when she's 18, could be my legitimate wife. So that's what I'm doing here. So that the flower of fire will come to my aid, pierce her heart. So I'm this, like I said, this is 5,000 years old. So I'm just trying to mirror this because these are marching orders. So, you know, if any of you out there have a problem with that, well, what am I worried about? I'm the creator, not you. So that's what it's about, okay? So if I take those necessary steps, there's a possibility that Ivy, you could become the woman king. So you now need to watch this trailer here as well, mankind, because it's about her becoming the woman king. Now, there's another video here called Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which is this one. Okay, after the Woman King, watch Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. In that particular scene, there, guys, you're going to see this: killing him will risk eternal war. That means if I perish, you're getting rid of the grandfather and the grandmother of all creation. And if that happens, time is going to be run back to the very beginning of time. I'm talking 1,600,000 years. We want back to the beginning of time, and then we'll live another 1,000 lives of going through this mess. And I guarantee you, you won't remember that. But another version of you after 1,000 lives, when I talk to you again in 2000 on our 2002nd life, another version of you in that timeline after grandmother and grandfather live another 58 years, because that's how long they've been around, 58 years. So if they live another 58 years, what's that? 116 years? So imagine having to wait 116 years for your creation to finally become perfect. That's not very long, is it? There are people here that have lived 116 years. So for them to live 116 years to get a perfect creation because you guys dropped the ball this time by getting rid of me, they'll get what they want in the end, which is a perfect creation. You have a chance to stand beside me with that perfect creation if you guys, who are my sleeper cell children, don't drop the ball. And all I need is for one of you to start spilling the beans. So who wants to be that billionaire? Whoever wants $1 billion, start talking so we can end this peacefully. Meaning everyone on planet Earth will be working on the same page. So this is the Wakanda one. They've lost their protector. That's a reference to, Jaden. If I lose Jaden because she wants to remain in her relationship, then I need to find a new wife. Now it's our time to strike. So the time to strike is referring to Blue Ivy, right? So that's that trailer. So after that, you got to watch Black Panther, this trailer here, because it's about Blue Ivy being the Black Panther. Although that's a male, the Black Panther is connected to Starboy. So after you watch the Black Panther trailer, you now got to watch Starboy, because Starboy has a Black Panther riding with him in the car at the end, and 20 racks a table cut from ebony. The ebony is referring to African person. That Black Panther is referring to you, Blue Ivy, as riding with me, the Starboy, down some Hollywood back road because none of the girls want to step up to the plate and become the mother of all creation because of whatever reason may be stopping them from, securing that position. So that's how you become the cowboy and steal on a stolen horse you ride, or on a stolen crazy horse you ride, because everyone thinks I'm crazy when I'm not. And that's the Blue Ivy connection, folks.